Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Forced Fandom, the show where one person tries to force another to like the thing that they love. I'm your host, Taylor Olmstead, and we are back for Season 2 with my good friend, Emily Bamforth. Hi, Emily.
Hey, we're back!
We are back. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So last season, I made you watch the whole first season of Twin Peaks, which, if people haven't seen that, we'll link in the show notes to that. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But
you should go watch it.
Yeah, you should go watch both Twin Peaks and Emily watching Twin Peaks.
Watch it with me. We can watch it together, just delayed. It'll be beautiful. We'll make a beautiful friendship.
A beautiful, weird internet friendship. So, this season the tables have turned, and Emily is going to make me watch something. Emily, what are you doing to me?
So, I'm not making you do One Direction.
Thank heavens.
Everyone is very pleased. And even though it would have been easier to structure, I feel like One Direction is not quite as relevant as one of the trends that is happening right now, which is the wonderful epic series of Gilmore Girls. I'm incredibly excited for you to see this.
Why are we talking about Gilmore Girls right now?
We're talking about Gilmore Girls right now because this whole community is prepping. It's been out of commission for a little while because the show ended after 7 seasons. The last season was kind of a problem because they switched writers. A lot of people got really mad during the 6th and the 7th seasons because it took the show in a direction that they didn't exactly want it to go. And now there's kind of a chance the original writer and producer is back, Amy Sherman-Palladino, after a 1-season debacle that was Bunheads, which was really good and starred Sutton Foster, but for some reason was canceled in a terrible flaming ball of fire. But now we're all getting a chance again to see how Rory grew up and how to see Lorelai grow up and all that kind of thing. And it's a very exciting thing. It's a very personal thing for a lot of people.
And so, before I guess we get started with anything from the original run of the show, you want me to watch this new trailer for the revival?
Yeah, I watched the show 3 times through completely.
Holy cow.
I know. And the first time was on DVD box set. When my mother and I have always been very, very close. And so watching Gilmore Girls with her when I was old enough was a really special experience for me. And it's something my mom and I have always had to talk about and always been like kind of a thing that we've done. And so I watched it the first time with her. I watched reruns forever, all throughout high school and going into college, and then they put it on Netflix and I got to kind of relive the whole thing. And a lot of people who didn't get that childhood experience or young teen experience of getting to watch it, got to watch it and got to binge it, which actually Gilmore Girls ended up being a very good show for binge watching, because it's light and it's happy and all this jazz. So the trailer for the new revival series, A Year in the Life, which will feature, I think it's either 4 or 8 episodes, I can't really remember, but I think it's 4, each representing a different season in a year, a certain number of years after the Gilmore Girls ended. And so a lot of the original cast is back. Sookie's back after, Melissa McCarthy is back after a lot of debate surrounding that. Both Rory and Lorelai are back. All of Rory's boyfriends are back. And so they released the trailer for this, announcing the date that it was coming yesterday, which was the 27th
of July.
Of
2016.
And it basically went viral immediately. Any news about the show goes viral. So we're going to have Taylor watch this clip, which is about 2 minutes long.
Yeah, you're giving it a lot of buzz. I'm interested to see what happens here.
I'm very excited.
So, this 1.5-minute clip, to paint a word picture for the podcast listeners, if they don't feel like watching it.
Yeah, if you want, you can pause it and go watch it.
I would suggest you pause it and go watch it because my word picture is not going to be very effective. Mostly because I would say of these 90 seconds, 50 seconds... Well, okay, that's an exaggeration. Of the 90 seconds, 30 seconds is establishing shots of different locations. So there is a shot of the sign of the town where this takes place. There is a diner and a gazebo, and there was one other one, I don't remember what it was. And then there was the house. And when we see the house, we finally cut inside to the two main characters, whose names I don't remember because I've only seen one episode of the show. But it's the mother and the daughter, and they are having this very awkward conversation about whether or not Amy Schumer would be friends with the mother, which was charming and hilarious, and a pretty good time. It was exactly what I am familiar with from the Gilmore Girls, which is basically this dynamic between the mother and the daughter, and dialogue that is a little bit faster than normal people talk, like Aaron Sorkin kind of dialogue. And that's about all I know about this show. So it's exactly what I knew was going to happen, and that's it.
Yeah, it's funny to hear you talk about it, because when you see those establishing shots, that's when people who've seen the show are like internally screaming. Like,
oh yeah, well that's how I was with the Twin Peaks trailer, so I'm assuming that's exactly how everyone is with this too.
Yeah, you like internally scream. Within this being released, I received 10 text messages, all telling me to go watch it. And what's funny about this now is that Amy Schumer responded, and John Oliver responded too. And Amy Schumer responded to the whole thing and was like, yeah, I'd love Lorelai. I only do water sports like twice a year when they take pictures of it, or like twice in my entire life. And it's really cool because at the time that the show premiered, that couldn't happen. And so it was kind of cool to see the celebrities tweet back and kind of talk to them. And so I'm glad that you liked the dialogue, I guess, the 2-minute sample that you got. And you already talked about this a little bit, but what has kind of been your preconceived view of the show and its fans? Like, what do you picture when you picture the Gilmore Girls fandom?
So Gilmore Girls was definitely something that I had no experience with as a kid. It is not, I mean, I was a Caucasian male in the Midwest in the late 90s and early 2000s. So I was a contemporary of this show, but it was not targeted towards me at all. And I had no sisters. It was me and my one brother. So even if my mom would have wanted to watch a show like this, we would not have watched it with her. And as I recall, it was like on a weeknight or on Friday nights on the CW in prime time, which is not a time that we would have let her watch something like this in the living room, because we would have been watching like Survivor or something. So I know that in the last couple of years, my mom has gone through and watched this on Netflix and really enjoyed it. But I think just because there weren't any other women in the house, she never got to watch it when it aired. And so I caught like 1 or 2 episodes here or there. And all I really know is that there's a mom and a daughter, and I'm guessing their last name is Gilmore.
Yeah, they are Lorelai and Rory Gilmore.
And Rory's the daughter, right?
Rory's the daughter. She's also technically named Lorelai, but she goes by Rory. Lorelai named her after herself.
That's kind of strange, but okay.
It's cute when you get through it. But yeah, I'm really excited for you to watch this. I think that's the reason that Gilmore Guys, which is a really, really insanely popular podcast that started happening when it did appear on Netflix, that's when it started happening, right? Like,
yeah,
right
it was
there?
around the time that it launched on Netflix.
So they got into this fandom, and it's probably something that they would never have gotten into if it was back in the time of like it airing in prime time and stuff, because that kind of had to spread by word of mouth. And it's become really, really popular hearing these two guys' perspectives on this story, which, while extremely female oriented, is a little bit more than that. And it's interesting to see their take on the bonds between mother and daughter and the family and that kind of thing. So I'm really excited for you to watch it.
So how much of a soap opera am I getting myself into here?
It's not that much of a soap opera. I would compare it more to a sitcom. It's more of a sitcom kind of thing. No laugh track in the background, but...
I was familiar with that, which, thank heavens.
No, it's real, and there are some very hard moments, and there are some... But, like, it's one of those things where the dialogue really carries it through. Amy Sherman-Palladino is an incredibly gifted writer. And that's what I really think I loved about the show is there's a lot of pop culture references, and there's a lot of really clever ways of handling things, and this really great cast of characters that you see in the town, which you don't even know about any of them yet. Do you know about any characters besides Rory and Lorelai?
Rory has a friend who I don't remember her name, but they have this really strange relationship of, like, wanting to be cool kids, but they're both super dorky and nerdy and kind of, like, they live inside a box type of people. I don't know what that girl's name is, though.
I'm excited for you to see. I feel like I'm just going to keep saying, like, I'm really excited to let you see this. But, yeah, you know about Lane. Her name's Lane.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's going to be great. The way I think I'm going to do it is I'm going to pick particular characters for each week. Or either particular characters or really important episodes that progress the plot from each season.
So we're not going to do, like, the first 10 or 12 or whatever.
No, and there's a reason for that. The reason for that is a lot of the conversation in the fandom relies on you seeing most of it. Because the tone from the first season is incredibly different from the second season and is incredibly different from the third season. Because Rory starts in high school, like beginning of high school. And then you see her mature through graduation day of college.
Okay, so this actually, like, the show grows with her.
It grows with her. Like,
okay. I thought so. I wasn't sure if it was like one of these stuck perpetually in a period of time shows or not.
No, you progress with it. You see Rory grow. You see Lorelai get older. Lorelai starts off incredibly young. And you see that kind of grow, and you kind of see this relationship grow and mature through Rory getting older and her mom going through different relationship stuff and personal stuff. And so keeping it through the first 12 episodes would feel like it's a different show than it is.
Okay.
So I'm either going to do it where you have to watch a very specific episode for each character each week, or where I don't want to make you watch more than an hour. So he's going to watch an hour-long episode each week, guys. I'll pitch a character out, and you got to help me pick it.
And so where are you going to be interacting with people as we do this show? And should I be interacting with the fandom? Is that something that I should do?
Of course you should. And even though I'm only going to tell you to watch one episode per week, you should feel free to watch other ones. Binge watch it if you want. I don't care. But I'm going to be interacting with people on our Gilmore Girls, on Reddit. I've already gone on there and asked for suggestions on how to structure this show, because for Twin Peaks, I kind of just watched the first season through, and that made a lot of sense. Doesn't really hear. A lot of people have suggested episodes already, especially ones related to the whole family. And people have already been extremely open and extremely welcoming of this. So we'll be interacting with them on our Gilmore Girls. I'm MBAM15.
And I'm the fear of missing out. All
yes,
one word.
All one word. And I'll try and make a post each week for this. We'll see how that goes. If you don't want to go on Reddit, which I completely understand, the You can find me on Twitter at Emily M. Bamforth.
And you can find me on Twitter at TC Olmstead. There will be links in the show notes as well.
So, interact with us. Taylor, do you want to live tweet the pilot?
I can live tweet the pilot.
Let's live tweet the pilot.
Well, we'll figure it out. If we don't live tweet the first episode, we'll definitely live tweet subsequent episodes.
Definitely. And if you feel strongly about anything, please interact with us. And don't forget to interact and go look at Dude's Brunch as well.
Yeah,
our parent podcast.
Yeah, go look at our parent podcast, Dude's Brunch. Emily and I are on there quite a bit. Other than that, I guess I have some Gilmore Girls to watch.
Where you lead, I will follow, Taylor.
Thank you, Emily.